All I know about Team Tour is Kelby complaining that he's on the feet team.
He is. Two separate people sent feet pics in the Discord, I think.
Yikes.
So if you're a fan of feet, go follow Kelby and G. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of SAP Chats, your favorite superautopets podcast that's not made by Not a Game Devlog, that it's only had 2 episodes ever. I'm here with a few people. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi,
Hello,
I'm Nick.
I'm Marco.
Oh, I should have said one person
We
first.
nailed
My
this.
bad.
That's so good.
Oh, good at this.
You got this, Mirko. Go for it. Go for it.
Yes, I'm Marco. I sometimes make YouTube videos on SAP, and I play both versus and arena and customs and everything, but I'm not pro at any of them.
Also streams.
Sometimes.
All right. Hi, I'm Nick. I stream a lot of superautopets, and I occasionally make videos that are meant to be more introductor friendly. Is a thought process, and hopefully I'll start making videos again. Surely.
For real.
Hi, I'm Ekri. I'm a long-time competitive versus player for superautopets. I've been in the scene for like 3 years now, and I have also fairly recently started making YouTube content on versus stuff and arena stuff, so I'd like to think I know what I'm talking about sometimes.
Wonderful. And I'm Troubadour, and I like to party.
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
All right, so the topic for today is Danger Pack 2 weeks later. What are our thoughts on it? Is it good? Is it worth your money? What are some of the positive and negatives of the pack? And we'll just kind of see where things go. Does anyone have a topic they want to talk about first?
So they originally said that this was supposed to be the most similar to Turtle Pack, right?
Yeah.
With the design philosophy. I feel like they both did not hit that mark and hit that mark pretty well at the same time.
Okay, can
Like,
you elaborate?
Like, unlike Turtle Pack, there is a pretty significant knowledge gap with being able to play the pack well, both in arena and versus, because of the number of transform into any pets that are available. So you have the Rollaway Monkey that transforms into a tier 3 or lower hurt pet. There's only a pool of like 5 of them, but none of them are in the pack. So you'd have to slow down, see what they could be, and like you get an intuition for it after a while, but that's not super introductory friendly. And then it gets worse with Golden Tamarin doing the same sort of thing, but it's a slightly wider pool. And then again with Silky Safaka on tier 6 doing that with tier 6 main pets. So I feel like there's some information there that is very hard to communicate, and having watched somebody that was relatively new to the game complain about like not being able to right click on Budgie to see that like Popcorn did what it does in terms of summoning a pet from the same tier, having it be even more crazy, even more chaotic, feels not very beginner friendly, but you also don't necessarily need to know everything, right? On the other hand, literally just big tier 1 is also very meta for that pack, which is the most
I just
thing
won a
ever.
game with a big tier 1 muscle, whatever it's called, sea muscle.
Yeah, fan muscle. That
Fan
thing's
muscle.
good. That thing is so good. So it is weird. It's both like you can just do the most brain off strategy ever, or you could just pick pets that you have absolutely no idea what they're gonna do and be absolutely confused, and still probably win.
I think this is very exciting. Like the what you're saying is true also because of the changes to the the way the pads hit each other and like the speed. Where everything goes much faster now, and so it's a pack that has a bunch of different very unique like abilities that happen very quickly, and all kinds of pets and random stuff that can happen, and it happens so quickly, like even quicker now than it did before. So I think it is very, very off limits. I'm very surprised to hear. I didn't actually know it was supposed to be similar to Turtle Pack, because that is very far off, I feel like.
Yeah, it's pretty funny to me, but I feel like, yeah, I forgot about jump pets because I played a
Jump
decent
pets
amount
are
of
the
versus
most
with it.
confusing for new players for sure.
Yeah, and functionally
Yeah,
all
definitely.
jump pets is just ignore attack order, right? Like
Yeah.
instead of having positioning be what you say it is, you're just doing attacks out of position. which is hard to follow, even though, especially when things are sped up, it's hard to follow. But like fundamentally, it's not that complicated a concept, but it confuses everyone to no end, which same.
Okay, I found what they had originally said when they announced the Danger Pack. So what Lau, the creator of the Danger Pack, said is the deal with the Danger Pack, first that's centered around endangered animals, but they designed it. It says the first time Lau's designed a pack since Arcuni and them did it, the original Turtle Pack, a long time ago, and much time was spent squeezing out new gameplay that doesn't stray too far from the old mechanics of the game.
Oh,
I think
Oh,
that's
it's
honestly
grounded.
true, though.
oh, grounded.
Really?
Yo, grounded.
What up, Grounded?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
How's it going?
How's it going? Thanks for hopping in. We're only like a few minutes in. We're just kind of talking about the idea of the pack being designed to be easier for new players while simultaneously having some abilities and mechanics that are confusing for new players. But yeah, the general idea we're talking about is just our thoughts on the Danger Pack 2 weeks later, what we like about it, what we don't like, things we want to see improved, all that stuff.
Fair enough.
I do feel like they actually hit the nail on the head, though, of not introducing like a really new gimmick. Like everything that was introduced was actually an existing mechanic or a slightly tweaked existing mechanic. Jump attack, that's just disregarding standard
Is that the
positioning.
only new one? Like truly new?
Yeah, I mean, because
Interesting.
we've already had some transform and like stuff like 5 enemy attacks or 8 enemy attacks is really simple to understand.
Yeah. And the jump attacks it's not a crazy departure like trumpets are, or the like concept of strawberry synergies was when those were introduced.
Or mana.
It's essentially just, here is the original positioning. Let's just go slightly out of order.
Yeah,
I was
definitely.
initially very confused by jump attack working with enemies attacked, because you're the one who is attacking, and so why is your enemy, the enemy attacking you when you're the one jump attacking? It felt kind of weird. I don't know if anyone else had that thought.
Yeah, it's a little
A
weird when you're
little
first
bit.
seeing it. I think, I mean, they're trying to differentiate it from just being like a sniper, because if the enemy didn't attack you back, you may as well just be a leopard, But it does.
Yeah, exactly.
The way that it says jump attack, it doesn't really imply that they're gonna attack you back.
Yeah.
Well, I can give you some behind the scenes on that if you want.
Sure.
Yeah, so it turned out that that was actually a bug. So the developers did not intend for the opposing pets to get the triggers, like the before attack triggers and after attack and all that. But it was it was a month or even 2 months into the test before they realized that it wasn't supposed to be in there like that. So we were testing it with that feature, but it wasn't intended. So they reverted it to make it fixed, but it actually really messed up the pack in terms of playing. So it was put back to the quote-unquote bugged version.
That's so funny.
That's really
Because the
interesting.
bug version feels so much more sensible, almost. Because it feels like it works so much better with a lot of the synergies, because it actually helps to tie together the multi-friend attack by having the jump pets work the way that they do.
It does seem to be a better idea, but it certainly adds to the unintuitiveness, I guess you could say, of this pack.
Yeah,
So
and I feel like
I think it could be confusing either way, right? Like, it's just a new mechanic fundamentally, where
Guess
you're
so.
asking the question of like, should it count as an attack if both pets are getting hit? Kind of
yeah,
thing.
definitely. And like there aren't many questions like that for like trumpets or strawberry or mana. It's just kind of, oh, this activates if there's a strawberry. This activates like mana is dealing this much damage to a random enemy. But with jump attacks, it's like there is actually a question to be asked of, like when a jump attack happens, does the other pet attack back, and how does that affect other triggers?
I definitely agree with whoever said, there's no like real new gimmick other than jump attack, because I was kind of worried that they were going to add like another currency. Like if we've got strawberry, trumpets, and mana already, we definitely don't need any more.
Microtransactions.
Yes, exactly. now your pet needs Bitcoin to activate their ability.
Pay 25 cents to win this round.
Start with 3 wins already.
If SAP was a mobile game. Oh, wait.
It is a mobile game. Well, Nick had to go. He's got to go do some team tour
Alright.
coverage. But thank you, Nick Resney, for joining us for a little bit, and Grounded for replacing him, I guess. So we've kind of talked about jump attacks and like some of the balance. One thing I do want to talk about. Let's talk about some of the things we enjoy about the new pack. For me, one of the things I really enjoy is, even if there's not many super unique or like revolutionary kind of ability styles, there's a lot of really fun abilities in here. Like pets like Red Panda are really fun. I really like the two-way usage of Amazon River Dolphin, even if it's a little overtuned. And yeah, do you guys have any other pets like that you really enjoy the design of?
I think the main thing I really enjoy about this pack is not actually the pack is in and of itself, especially because it is so chaotic, but I feel like this pack is perfect for customs because it just adds a lot of like I feel like it fills a lot of gaps that customs didn't have. It introduces a bunch of new things you can do with the kind of with the abilities types that still existed without adding something completely new. And a bunch of like new things to try, which I think that's the main like appeal with this pack, for me at least.
Yeah, and I think one other thing is like, with the amount of chaos that happens in this pack with like random transformations and stuff like that, there are so many opportunities for fights to just go haywire out of nowhere. There was like one case I remember very recently, like literally yesterday, where I was playing Danger Pack and I had a tree kangaroo, which like I had a tree kangaroo and a 4 squad, and the silly hit a stoat, which spawned I don't remember what it was, but it spawned another unit to fill in the gap on my other team. And I was like, the realization of how much random stuff can happen with this pack is one of the best parts of the game for me. Like, it's always been that even before this pack got introduced, but yeah, some battles are incredible with this pack.
I've seen
And
the
it was,
the tree kangaroo specifically is really interesting. I saw a clip on the subreddit where it hits a what's it called, a blue whale, I think it is, and proceeds to remove the entire the opponent.
Yeah.
No, I think your own team. I can't fully remember, but it like worked
It
with
removes everything, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
it can be incredibly surprising.
Yeah, tree
And it was,
kangaroo is definitely the funniest pet they've added.
No, definitely. I wish
Yeah,
it was
it-
better in Versus. I want to buy it all the time.
Well, it was. I mean, the pack was much more chaotic and random than it is now. To start with, Tree Kangaroo did not originally require perkless,
No.
so
Wow.
basically meant that every time you had II or Black Rhino at the back, it was just getting silly and killing its own team, or immediately summoning lemurs, and so that got toned down. And then a lot of the random pets like Tamarin and Baycat, try to think of the other ones, Sifaka, they had much wider pools. So you'd get battles where like you completely stomp someone because you got Warthog and Hydra, and then the next battle you get like Boxfish Walrus or something.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of that was toned down to try and make it less RNG, but obviously not quite enough apparently.
That's very cool, but also like I'm glad that they changed it to be not as horrible as you say it was, or as random. But it's also kind of sad in a way, because now Tree Kangaroo is just stuck being a kind of a weirdo, no, there's not really a reason to use it in the pack ever. It can sometimes be useful, but it's more of a customs pet really than it is a
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
And
not really
definitely
ways you can
there's-
strategize with it, you know? It's more just put it on your team and see if you can disrupt the enemy.
Well, in customs, you can just put like churros on Red Dragon or something, or and then guarantee that the back unit's going to get silly.
Ooh.
But a lot of the time, it's just going to be like a monkey or something on their
Oh,
side,
Yeah.
so it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But it's such a broken ability. Like the amount of time and effort spent just testing Tree Kangaroo relative to the whole rest of the pack was just insane. And you could originally also like have a tree kangaroo make another tree kangaroo silly, and then the whole board just ends up getting silly,
Oh my
like a chain
gosh.
reaction.
Yeah,
Um,
and even then, like, I don't think everything got caught. Have you guys seen the tree kangaroo condor interaction?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I could explain that one.
You'll
if
never
you
guess
want
who
as
came
well.
up with that.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, it's like some crazy weird soft lock shenanigans because Condor copying the silly ability doesn't like, or the trigger limit doesn't happen, and it can just repeat itself.
yeah, because if it swallows the tree kangaroo, it seemingly doesn't count itself as a tree kangaroo. Like it's not supposed to be able to activate from silly.
Yeah.
But obviously that's just a bug. But the reason Condor got the least amount of testing for that is because it was one of the last abilities added. So that was reworked. Because the previous ability was causing a lot of problems.
What was the
Oh,
previous
really?
ability?
So originally, Condor was tier 4, and it had the Kakapo ability. So it was just giving the EXP to the transform pet. But then Kakapo's ability, it had a few different ones. But essentially it would activate the ability of a pet when it transformed.
Oh,
And that
Oh,
was
God.
that was super busted because like there were units like Tamarin and the cat in tier 1, they do their transforms before battle. So if you got like double crocodile from Tamarin, then the Kakapo activates them. It kills their start of battle units and they don't get to activate. So yeah, it had to be reworked. And then they sprite swapped it, I guess because they felt like Condor, you know, I guess it needed a good stat line, and they maybe felt like Condor looked like a better design for a big stat line than the very tiny looking Kakapo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
you know, that does make me think of one point I do like about this pack is there was some testing put in before it came out, because I'm sure y'all remember the Unicorn pack launch and how
Oh, God,
insanely
right.
broken so many pets were. So I appreciate that even though this pack has some balance issues, it's not nearly as bad as it could have been with the private testing that they did.
Yeah, there was like a very brief period for like the competitive scene where a couple of people that would normally be like a mid-level player shot up to like some of the best in the world because they were really good at forcing the Chimera build every time. Like their playstyle just really suited forcing this exact build over and over, and it just won games because it was that broken.
Like
But,
Chimera,
yeah,
Vampire
I'm
Bats,
glad
I-
Cyclops.
I think
Yeah.
I want to specifically talking about what we like about this pack. Shout out the what's it, hump head Ras.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
Bangai Cardinal Fish, like removal of attack stats, because that is something I don't think have seen. You can correct me, but
Yeah,
like
the only things that could
anytime
do it
else, but it's
before
really
were
obvious ability that
like-
should have just been in the game like a long time ago. I feel like.
yeah, Goose could do it, but very little,
Right.
and Luska as well. But again, it's not the greatest.
Yeah, and it's hard to balance stuff that removes attack to not be too strong, which is why they haven't really done it before. I will say within the pack, like Humphead Ras isn't that great, considering it's really hard to scale the attack in that pack, just because of the way the pack is balanced. It's not as useful, but I think versus other packs is where it can really shine.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
That's
Screw
also
your
why I
dodo.
really like it as a custom pack, because it works perfectly with that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in terms of like the stuff that I like, it's weird when you see the pack being released, having played it for so long, because there's a lot of stuff that you already know, but then it's also super cool seeing people do things that you hadn't thought of. I mean, I guess that's not specifically anything to do with the pets, but like you've already mentioned, Red Panda, I think is an absolute slam dunk. I also think the artwork is incredible. Like, there's only one or
Yeah.
two that I don't really like, whereas everything
Yeah.
else just looks amazing.
Yeah, I love the artwork on this.
Yeah, and I love how colorful it is, despite most of them being real world pets. I know they take some artistic liberties when it comes to Super Auto Pets, but I appreciate that it's like a very colorful pack, just like Unicorn Pack.
I think also the theming, like them being endangered animals, is really cool. In general, I think a lot of people have talked about this, but
Yeah, definitely.
I was so sad because they announced the danger pack, and I'm like, but I want my favorite animal in the game.
Oh.
Now I have to go make it endangered.
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, please
Oh
don't
my
do
god.
Apparently it didn't work, so.
Wild.
that. But again, there was loads of stuff in this pack that I'd never heard of before. So I was frantically Googling everything, trying to work out, pronunciations and what these things actually look like in real life.
I still can't pronounce most of these pets, I'll be honest.
No, that's true. I've looked at the pronunciations and I can't do it either.
Yeah.
I think a little like funny small thing is how how there's quite a bit of or like a few like the bonobo and the red panda, they have the same ability at all levels, theoretically, which is like in the past. I guess it's not a thing anymore. Then it used to be like a thing in what's it, Turtle Pack, where on Scorpion it says like doesn't change with level up or something like that.
Well, Scorpion
like a
still
little
doesn't
flavor
change
text.
with level up.
No, but there was like a little flavor text on it that
Yeah,
told
Scorpion
you.
has it and Microbe has it as well.
Right, but it does not have it here on the red panda or the bonobo.
That could have just been an oversight rather than a deliberate choice.
That is possible. Does it still have it on the
I'm sure Scorpion and Microbe still have it.
Marco?
I don't know. Maybe Rev would know. It seems like he's been cooking with peanuts lately. In customs.
I'm pretty sure the original Tiger did have it as well.
Yeah, I like that because this pack is kind of more complicated than the other packs. They're not afraid to like take some liberty with the level up abilities. Like Sumatran Tiger has jump attack the opposite enemy, but then it's like randomly got a 6 damage to adjacent enemies as like a level 2.
Whereas
like,
like,
before
that too.
Yeah, you'd only ever see like, okay, from level 1 to level 2, this ability is doubled. From level 2 to 3, it goes up by 50%, and that's like all it ever is. But there's like some creativity
Similar to
in
Hatching Chick, I guess, but not really. A little bit.
Yeah, that's another one that originally that did have splash damage on level 1, and then it was double, triple splash damage, but it was just too much.
Yeah, it'd be crazy value just breaking all the melons, start a battle. Like breaking 3 melons.
Yeah, and just like instantly killing some of the weaker backline units the first time people buy them, like Turkey and Shark and so on.
Yeah. Even now it's still very good at doing that, but you can play around it a little bit more at least.
Speaking of good pets, let's talk about some of the pets and foods that we think are just the strongest, whether you enjoy playing them or against them or not. Like, for me, I think blue whale is crazy. It is so good. I think maybe it's bugged or not, but the fact that it also it gives current pets and future pets the stats means that you can just freeze a bunch of good pets in the shop, and then the next turn you can buy them with the stat upgrade, and you've already got decent pets with good stats. And if you get it ahead of the curve, like level it up early, it's hard to face those teams in the late game.
I was wondering about that. Because I saw the future shop pets and I was like, but then I see it like working on current ones that you've frozen, and I was so confused. I guess that's a bug.
I think it's just I think the ability text is just wrong.
Oh, okay.
I see. But yeah, blue whale is like really weird for versus as well. It's not even particularly broken in versus, but it isn't very good for the game, I don't think, because like you get into situations where if you are up on lives, you find a blue whale, and then you end up like just not having a board and spending all of your gold looking for the level on blue whale, and just outscaling massively. And like the fact that you can get an extra 10 gold a turn without like spending it on other units, it doesn't have to remove anything to give you the extra gold, is crazy strong. But then you also just can't use it while you're behind. Like, it just doesn't ever work while you're behind, unless you have to for, like, a big lobby. But...
Yeah.
I've only had once where I went against someone who pivoted into blue whale and absolutely destroyed me. But it is a really weird pet in terms of versus, because it's not really... I wonder if they ever thought about its versus implications.
Yeah, definitely. Like, even though it was all being tested in Arena, a lot of the feedback did specifically mention versus stuff, so it was a lot of stuff that initially I said, competitive people aren't going to like this, and some of it did get changed and some of it didn't. Blue Whale did have a completely different ability as well originally, so that it got reworked into the sort of Lioness hybrid. But yeah, it's weird, like where there's sometimes where it's like Ekui says, it's terrible if you can't take it unless you get it early, other than for transforming with Chickpea. But
I didn't
yeah,
think
like
about
I played one game. I played one game of ranked 1v1 Danger Pack v Danger, and it was even up until turn 9, and then the opponent got instant level 2 Blue Whale, and then it's like another 7 or 8 minutes of just losing because you can't do anything about it.
Yeah. I
It
think
also takes out the main aspect of versus, which is countering your opponent's team and predicting what they're gonna do.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing with versus also is sometimes the game can end before you even get access to tier 6 pets. And like if you're already about to win, like you have a lot of hearts in versus, why would you pivot to Blue Whale when you can just end your opponent's run, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the situation, but like sometimes I think it's weird because there were some people, including me, when Blue Whale was first introduced, joking like, I can't believe they put Lioness into an actual pack. This is gonna be broken. But then when it came out, it kind of only ended up being broken sometimes, and then Lioness is still just like there, and nothing's been done about that either.
Yeah,
Which is quite
Lioness
funny.
has survived for so long. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there will be more changes coming, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, yesterday I did face someone in customs who had Blue Whale level 3 with Lionesses.
Dude, I faced
Yeah,
someone that
like-
had like, it was Blue Whale, Lioness, Whale, and Chicken. And the chicken had Love Potion. So they just pivoted to Blue Whale. But yeah.
I mean, that was the first thing I thought of when I tried Blue Whale. Immediately in customs, I went with Lioness because I thought it would just add on top of it, and I won first try easily.
Well,
Yeah.
what about I tell you the original Blue Whale ability, and then you can decide whether or not you think it's better or worse.
It's probably
God,
worse.
okay.
Or, I mean, like, worse. It's probably stronger, but go ahead. If they removed it.
So it used to be its starting stats were 15-15 instead of 12-12. So better than Behemoth. And then when you bought it, it removed all the pets on the board, spent all your gold, and gave the Blue Whale plus 20/20.
What?
So
You just make a 35/35.
yes, yeah. So it immediately becomes a 35/35.
This was like a
Um,
buy ability.
Yeah, and then you could buy another Blue Whale on top to then make a 50/50.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
That
But
sounds
then
I don't know.
that's out
That
there,
could have been
no?
a bug. That could
If
have
it
been a bug.
removes all your
you
gold.
spend one turn to get a 35/35, and then and then after that you can
That's
just
it.
keep it on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's worth
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
This is just boring. Like
That's like
What's the point?
old Leviathan levels of no synergy but really strong and boring.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know if it was as good as it sounds, but there was kind of like some fun stuff with it where you would buy krill on the earlier turns to make sure that you had the free food, so that then when you got the Blue Whale, even though you spent all your gold, you could still give it equipment.
Was there chickpea
that-
at the time?
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I mean, yeah, that does even seem good. Like I'm thinking about it, spending, what would it be? Like if you had a full board 14 gold for a 70 stats on board.
Yeah,
but
actually,
then
so
you
it
lose
didn't.
everything.
Sorry, it didn't spend all your gold. I think it spent 20 gold. So if you'd somehow managed to, earn more than 20 with elk or whatever, you could still have 10 gold left after you
Oh,
got
I
your
see.
35/35.
It just seems like an unnecessary thing to make it even stronger, but yeah, alright. I think I do prefer the new ability. But...
Yeah, at least the new one it has a little bit of, it's not just buy it and that's it, You have to think a little bit.
sad thing about Blue Whale is mainly that I think it just removes like it's a novelty kind of thing. You play it a little bit and it's really fun, but then it's just the same in some way. there's
Yeah.
not really synergy much to it other than just having different tier 6s that you want to put on your board each turn.
Yeah, like I got a
Yeah.
blue whale level 3 like for a video, and then like every other time I've seen a blue whale early, I'm like, I've already kind of done that. I kind of want to do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I only take it for converting it into something else.
Yeah.
What are
It's-
some other pets you guys think are really good from the pack?
I mean, I was mainly thinking when you said that originally, I'm thinking of a Tukushi. But that's mainly just because of the attack, like the stats it gives.
Yeah.
It obviously also synergizes very well with things like the Amazon River Dolphin or even like melee tapir, or generally things that like attacks a lot of times. There's a lot of health scaling in this pack, and Tukushi just gives that extra attack scaling, maybe like onto Giant Tortoise or whatever, which is it doesn't seem too OP when you first look at it, but then the more you play with it, I feel like the more it's just a staple of basically all my teams. I don't know if you all have the same experience.
Yeah, I
it
think
is
it's
very
really
strong,
good.
Yeah, I like to take
I-
it even if I'm not running a team that like it synergizes with, just because the stats are just great tempo.
Yeah, I think my dark horse for being like pets that are actually really strong is Red Panda. Like I know that that's kind of the pet that a lot of people are talking about initially, but I have found so many games, especially like playing packs that have an easier time making big units like pack 1, where you like have lives and can greed for level 2 Red Panda, and because there's just a lot of like very simple scalers that you can hit, you'll oftentimes just get like a level 2 scaler that wins the game right away, and if you don't, you can just either skip and look for another Red Panda or take a good like level 2 tier 6. Like
Yeah,
there's a
that
lot
was-
of flexibility with it.
That was one of the things that I not necessarily complained about, but I was kind of worried about with Red Panda, because everyone in the test agreed that it was like our favorite unit, basically. But I was worried that once it went out into Arena, all that was going to happen is every time you got to the late turns, you were just going to face all the Red Panda teams that got Ostrich or Bird of Paradise or whatever. Because us testers were mostly taking like the fun combos. If you get the choice between Bird of Paradise or Ostrich or Boxfish, I was taking Boxfish every time.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's really worked out that way, at least so
yeah,
far.
not really.
Yeah.
And even if it did, I think that'd be a reflection on like Ostrich and Bird of Paradise rather than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Ostrich got a slap on the wrist this update. It got the buffs tag and customs, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just being confused. I was actually going to go and look at it because I don't remember it having changed.
Yeah, that's
For a
it.
moment, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, there was a bunch of stuff that got tags. There were a few others, there was Eel was one.
Eel?
Yeah, Eel used to have no tags, and it got the buffs tag as well.
Oh, I must have missed that when I was doing my update video.
Wait, I need to know this for like the 7th SAP
you're right.
Jeopardy. I gotta look at this.
I mean, it's in my Danger Pack release video. I talked about it.
What were the
Oh, I
other
gotta
ones?
go
Then?
watch
I've
that
forgotten
one
them
then.
already.
Let's see. I wrote it down. Basilisk. A bunch of pets got transform tag that you'd expect, like Basilisk and Budgie. Hatching Chick and Flying Fish got XP tag. Brain Cramp got perks. Fairy Armadillo got transform. Praying Mantis got changed from hurt tag to buffs tag.
Yeah.
Bad Dog
That's
got
true.
given the disruption tag. It's the only toy pet that has the toy tag and something else.
I think we can all agree that was necessary, though.
Yes, absolutely. And then, yeah, Ostrich got buffs, and then all the pets that could transform got transform tags. For the most part, not every single one, but most of them.
I think that makes sense, though. I mean, it would be. I guess Flounder was the only one that didn't make it.
Yeah, I don't
I don't
think
know if
Flounder
that could
got
be
the...
that could be a mistake, though. I'm not sure.
Well, I got my Super Autopets on my phone in front of me. Yeah, Flounder doesn't have the transform tag. I think it wasn't the only one that can transform but didn't have the tag. Oh yeah, like Desert Rain Frog didn't get changed either. It's just trumpets.
Oh yeah, okay. But yeah, I mean, like for me, the tags haven't changed until now for so long. So Like that's one of the easiest things you can do to try and tone down, the teams that or the packs that take all of the scalers in tier 6.
Yeah. I think my biggest problem, not with the danger pack, but with the update, is there was very minimal balance changes. I'm happy for the changes they did make, like with Axolotl and Dung Beetle. But man, oh man, customs is not fun to play right now.
Yeah, they didn't touch Sauropod, Bird of Paradise. They like made a slight nerf to Hamster, I guess, but it didn't really do that much.
I liked the merging change. Can't
Yeah.
refresh triggers. I know they're currently working on testing some balance changes. I know Maris Laris has been talking about it on the official Discord, but man, we went so many months without. I know maybe they're waiting on the balance change until the new pack was out to balance it around new pets being in there too. But like, it sucks. It's not fun right now.
Well, I think the reason for that is that this pack was made by Lau. There's two developers, Arcuni and Lau, and Arcuni had done the previous packs, or at least had been the person involved with most of the balancing, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but for the testing of Danger, it was mostly just Lau that we were interacting with. So he wasn't really changing any of the existing pets unless there was some kind of a bug. So the stuff like Axolotl and Elephant Seal and what else was there? Oyster Mushroom. Oyster Mushroom
right.
obviously had to be changed because of like Condor and so on. So other than those that like were either already changed or had to be to not break Danger Pack, everything else was getting left alone until the next phase, basically, which has now begun.
Yeah, I hope that we, Unicorn Pack, it was a little bit quicker on the update, but that's because there's so much stuff broken. But I hope we get, a little bounce patch soon, not just for customs, but for Danger Pack. Maybe like tone down a bit of the stronger pets, like, Longcomb, Sawfish, and Golden Tamarin, and maybe buff up some more niche pets like the European Mink or the Volcano Snail, maybe the Hawaiian Monk Seal.
Well, that's something else that was changed on the test. So originally Sawfish and Mink were the other way around. So Mink was on tier 4 and Sawfish was tier 2. And Sawfish had the Mink ability and it didn't have a trigger limit. So it only has 3, and I feel maybe that's a bit too low at the moment.
Yeah, it's like you think getting a way to get attack in the Danger Pack would be so useful, but it's not that strong.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the time the units in the front get killed, so you don't get all the full value.
Yeah.
Have you all been having a lot of success with Longcomb Sawfish? Because I have not. I've really tried and make it work, but
buy
I
it
feel
almost
like
every game. It's insane.
I do buy it a lot, but I don't. I feel like once it actually triggers, it's basically like the battle's kind of over, and I like either all the 5 attacks is most of the attacks that are gonna happen that game, and it only removes the health of like the smaller units in the back, and not really the ones that I really want to remove health of, which is the front big units.
Yeah, it's like the same for Green Seatel, but I think the competitive scene thought it was going to be broken initially, but like actually 5 enemy attacks is enough to like get rid of a lot of the bigger units that actually want the melon. So it seems like that's in a fine spot right now, but yeah, I think Sawfish is okay. It is pretty strong, but it's got the same issue where you don't remove health from all that many enemies because a lot of them have died in 5 attacks.
Yeah, so that was definitely in like the initial feedback, was a lot of these units, although their abilities are pretty strong, they're very susceptible to getting removed before they get to do anything, or the team gets disrupted and so on. Originally, like some of them even had more. It was like, I think Black Rhino and Ai were 10 attacks instead of 8.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes it's hard to trigger 8 attacks. I think Sawfish for me really comes in clutch because so many people are running those like big HP scaling, all the hurt stuff, and Amazon River Dolphin, and it just helps just completely like just wipe those teams that is just all health. Or are really good with those teams because you're getting a lot of triggers.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, Grounded, I know a pet you've talked about before. What are your thoughts on the marine iguana?
I think Marine Iguana is one of the ones that hardly got changed at all, except fixing bugs. because there were a lot of problems with it, like not activating properly because of the before attacks on the jump attackers. But I basically took it a bunch in the early testing, and I was just winning every time, so I stopped taking it.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have kind of reported that it's a bug where it overwrites an existing melon, but I'm pretty confident that that's intended, because otherwise I think it would just be ludicrous, especially since you can just buy the melons in the pack.
Yeah, you imagine like your jump attack has a melon and then it gets broken, and then when it attacks again, it's got marine iguana. Oh man.
Yeah.
Also, white okra is so good.
Yeah, that was another
Yeah.
thing that was changed. That was originally completely different. I'll definitely be doing videos on all this stuff, but originally white okra was an ailment-giving perk.
What?
So
Whoa.
Right.
originally, it would give an ailment to the front unit on the other team. It was called Sticky, and it was kind of like Sleepy, except even more severe. But you could never put it on anything other than the front unit.
That's so
You
That-
showed up in your
weird.
video
Kinda
recently.
interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait for this video.
Well, I mean, the
Yeah.
amount of footage I've recorded is going to take me forever to go through it all. But yeah, it basically it was designed in order to allow you to farm attacks. If they've got a huge unit at the front, you can make sure that they have very, very low attack for at least the first hit. But it kind of interacted poorly with a lot of stuff like, cocoa bean and these other things that are before attack. They just get overwritten by the ailment if you put them in first position. And then because it always targeted the front, you couldn't take more than one. So in the end, it got changed to be the kind of the opposite, where it actually blocks ailments instead.
Man,
I mean, it's really just the what's it called, the yellow one from Unicorn. I need to see Ambrosia, but
Ambrosia.
it works twice, kind of, and that's it, almost. Which is a bit like sad in a way. The same with the Judean date, just being melon and steak again. Which I mean,
Yeah.
I know that's kind of the point of using old abilities again, but it's compared to the other foods in the pack, which are mostly really interesting. It's kind of a shame for the tier 6s to just be stronger versions of other like perks.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
mind the
So-
white okra because, I mean, golden pack, I would love it in there. But in general, I like that it can both block an ailment and block damage. But yeah, Judean date, I'm just kind of disappointed by it. Like, you can already get steak from marine iguana or green seeds here. You can get white okra or painted terrapin for white okra. And then steak, I mean, we got maple syrup as like a sort of steak, but then they're like, screw it, we'll put the Judean date in. And now I'd like never use maple syrup,
Yeah.
I mean, you can use it with Anatic Grill and get everything anyways.
I don't think I maybe have not bought a single maple syrup yet in the amount of time that I've
I was
grinded
checking
It
my
is really
stats.
weird.
I have never bought it. That and the white truffle.
I think I made use of it like once
like-
before.
Truffle once or twice, yeah, but it's incredibly niche.
Yeah, both of those were changed as well. But I can't say for sure about the Judean date, but this is my guess. And I think also I'm kind of happier that they're starting to do stuff like Judean date or the Transformers, where they're reusing old stuff. Because although I'm happy to have new packs, like the sheer number of new units, we're already past 500 now. So anything that can kind of creatively reuse stuff, and it's debatable whether Judean Date is creative, but I'm all for it. So my theory for Judean Date is that, you know how this pack now has 3 foods for every tier and 10 pets for every tier, but not all the base packs are like that. I think all of them apart from Turtle and Golden have 10 pets per tier, and then they have 3 foods except tier 1. But Turtle has 4 foods on tier 4. So I'm assuming that that's potentially the solution for having the 4 foods on tier 4 for Turtle Pack. That it will be one of these double food in one options to prevent like having to remove one of those foods. I don't know for sure, but that's my guess.
Yeah, that could be interesting then.
That is interesting.
Well, because I mean, if you think about Turtle Pack, it's like you can't take out melon, you can't take out steak, you can't take out mushroom. Are you going to take pizza away from cat? Probably not.
No.
So you need to have some way of being able to buy all of them still.
So
That's
we're
a
gonna
really
have
interesting
like
theory.
steak mushroom. What if they just combine two of them into the same one?
Well, I mean, I guess you could just put
Blocks
Judean
20
dates
damage and gives you plus
take
20
melon
damage.
and
Yeah, like-
steak out.
Just take melon out. Let the fire burn. You know,
But
one
does
thing I know.
just mean that marine iguana becomes kind of useless because you have Judean date now?
Yeah, I
Or like white
if I
okra,
don't
like
have
so much
Judean
potato
date or white
equivalent, I
okra,
don't really
it's
want
like
to use it.
that's when I take marine iguanas if I haven't gotten my tier 6 foods yet.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like I've used like marine iguana with a jump pet along with painted terrapin to make sure it gets double the perks, but
No, I think marine iguana, like, it's before friend attacks, which I think always goes after before attack. So it means you can do stuff like put cocoa bean on a jump attacker, and then it will transform before the marine iguana gives it the melon.
Interesting.
There's some tech for you for free, Marco.
Thanks. I mean, you say, but like cocoa bean is so weird. I still can't, like, I don't know how to feel about it. It's just another way of making, I guess, like things more random and you like useless things to be potentially useful, but then also potentially just be, you know, getting more draws. I don't know if I like it, honestly.
Yeah, the best strategy I've seen with it is just put it on a pet that has low stats, or maybe on a jump pet like Snow Leopard and just hope. Like, I had my helmeted hornbill. It got copied a 50/50 blue whale. That was great. Then sometimes it'll copy something that's like a 2/3.
What do you mean you haven't run Seagull Cocoa Bean yet?
Oh my gosh.
I think Rev's been losing his mind the last week or so trying to do that.
I did it in a lobby for when I was doing Team Tour coverage, and it genuinely hit their smallest unit 4 consecutive times.
Oh no.
And I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
never
gave
trust
feedback.
Cocoa Bean.
I gave feedback on it saying that it's fun, like similar to Tree Kangaroo, where it's fun, but at the same time, it can be incredibly irritating. Like I had one game where, not long after launch, where I had double Cocoa Bean at the front, and it copied their lowest stat unit. They had 4 huge units and 1 tiny unit, and I got 2 copies of the tiny unit. And then the next battle, my opponent had 1 Cocoa Bean. I had 1 big unit, and they copied the big unit. So it's
definitely.
feels bad, bottled.
Like, I like there being comeback mechanics, but especially like the versus. If I'm behind in a game, I don't want my out to be like both A, rolling and finding the Cocoa Bean, and then B, relying on the Cocoa Bean like actually hitting the right thing. It's like just a second, almost unnecessary layer of RNG to try and come back into a game.
Okay.
Have a good one, Marco.
Well, thank you for joining, Mirko. I know you gotta go right now, but thank you for joining us. Appreciate the discussion.
Yep.
Equi, you know, speaking of verses, I know you've played some Danger Pack in verses. What's your thoughts on, you know, Danger Pack and how it plays into the other packs in the game?
I think Danger Pack is like a really unfortunate case for versus. It's like definitely very solid. I think with the like potential patches coming, it's just going to be a good all around pack. I think people are currently rating it like around 3rd or 4th, but the main problem for us is that like because pack 1 is currently kind of the meta pack, is just the most solid, as I think Nick mentioned before. This pack does very badly into it in general because pack 1 is already just trying to make a big unit, and this pack doesn't really have a good way to deal with that. Like, the best solution is like something like Ras maybe, but a lot of the time they make a unit that's so big that the Ras attack dropping doesn't matter because they just one-shot everything that you have. And like this pack really likes having high health, low attack, but it's very hard to make that happen against pack 1.
Yeah, pack
but
1
the
can
other
just do
matches-
high health, but with garlic.
Yeah, but like, you know, into every other pack I've been having a lot of fun with Danger Pack. It's just a real shame that it's like this one pack that happens to be the meta is also the one pack that this Danger Pack does really badly into.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that applies in Arena as well, because the way the test worked is that they copied over some of the live teams from the other packs, so we could play against real opponents. And I found that I was just constantly losing to the elephant camels or the, pack one team that had 3 monkeys or something.
Yeah.
And originally there was a peanut in the pack, but it was a delayed peanut, the same as, like you had to wait 6 attacks or something, or 7 attacks, by which time it's too late against those teams.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I think they're very well aware of that, and it was raised in the test, but ultimately you just have to, you can't wait forever, you got to publish and let people, test it out for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think to be fair, there is still quite a bit of time. Like, it's still an early pack when put into perspective, like how long it took the rest of the community to like find everything in the other packs. And this pack is a lot more complicated, so like people are experimenting already with ways to deal with big units, and like it's not the best solution in the world, but we have found some things, and I think we'll only continue to find more as we keep going. So
I've got
I'm
full
just hoping...
confidence in you, Equi.
Thank you, Grounded. Thank you. But yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some viability with this pack in the future. So I'm looking forward to it.
You just need to train up your Red Panda RNG.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just hit like the Scorpion on turn 7.
RNG manip to Red Panda to like level 2 Dragon on turn 9. That usually wins a game for pack 1. Why can't it win one for us?
Exactly. Just outscale pack 1. It's so easy.
I actually had a game in the test where I think I got Red Panda into Dragon on turn 9, and then I had like 3 bonobos or something, so I got four dragons, and then just went absolutely nuts.
Have you seen that video that Kelby made, which is just like getting Monkey out of Red Panda and then having a 5 Monkey squad in a lobby?
Yes, I did see it, and I immediately copy pasted it into the test server.
Yeah, I mean, it's so cool that you're just able to do that, and it happens in so few games that like I don't mind losing to that if I'm on the other side of it.
And actually, whoever was playing against him got very close to like they tied and won a few rounds at the end, I think.
Yeah, I think it was I was in the top 3, and then Violet was there also. I think Violet got second place in the end, but she got very close as well.
So I guess I'll play host for a second, and given that I was in the test, I don't super want to answer this question, but what are your least favorite things about the pack, guys?
Least favorite things. I mean, there's definitely some pets and foods that I almost never use. Like we've kind of already talked about, like the maple syrup or European mink. I feel like volcano snail's pretty underpowered. I think my least favorite thing though with the pack, I just wish more of the archetypes were easier to use as an archetype. Like, you can use a lot of transform stuff together and it's really strong, but then when I try to do a bunch of jump attack synergy, it's hard, you know? Like, I could use a jump attacker, like, I can do an Umami Rabbit with, like, some other stuff, but, like, trying to run a jump attack team all centered on jumps is a little bit harder, you know? I wish I guess what I'm trying to say is I wish the pack balance within the pack was a little more balanced between the archetypes instead of just being, like, run a bunch of transform stuff, get Blue Whale early, or just scale like crazy with Hornbill, you know?
Yeah, I can second the jump attack stuff. I don't know exactly how I would like fix it, but the fact that a lot of it is relying on like adjacent friend attack as the kind of synergy point for the jump attackers is kind of awkward, because that only allows for like one extra trigger, and like for the River Dolphin, for example, a lot of times you're just much better off having a big unit in front of it
to
like get about the same amount of triggers as you would with
exactly.
the jump attacker.
It's one of its main synergies for jump is adjacent friend attack, but most of the time you just want a high health pet instead of a jumper.
Yeah, like it's
Yeah.
all adjacent friend attacked until like tier 6, where you get the Philippine Eagle, which is a fairly
It's pretty good.
good unit to
Yeah.
be fair. But like at that point, there's so many better options to play towards on turn, like from turn 7 to 10, that you very rarely have a setup that allows for Philippine Eagle to work.
Yeah, I mean that's basically like, I'm glad you said it because that's basically the way I felt about it. And the weird thing is that I think the reason it's ended up like that is because jump was way too strong in the beginning and transform was way too weak. So we've kind of ended up where it's like overcorrected, where jump is now much weaker and transform is way too strong. So you're better just taking your one jump pet and then having it get transformed by Rollaway or Sifaka instead of actually trying to go for lots of jump synergy.
And like the only real thing that's not related to adjacent friends, you have like Giant Otter, which before battle you can give temporary stats to your jump attackers, which isn't often that relevant, and the base stats of Giant Otter are very small. It's very hard to like fit on the team instead of just having a more solid unit like Golden Tamarin or like a Scalar like Tortoise or something.
I guess they also work with the 5 and 8 enemy attack pets, but once again, I'd rather have high health pets that can maybe live a hit, and get more enemy attack triggers.
Yeah, and even then, like the jump attackers are basically just delaying an attack that would happen anyway, right? So like if you had a Mommy Rabbit in the 3rd spot, if that didn't have an ability, it would still attack. It would just attack later, and so like it's kind of not a real synergy with II and like Green Sea Turtle and stuff.
Yeah, so that basically explains what we were talking about earlier, where it wasn't intended to be like that. Your jump attacker was supposed to give you an attack that the other team didn't get. So, those attacks would count for II and Black Rhino and so on, but it wouldn't count for the other team. But, ultimately that had to be changed, but that was the original intention. So you can see how there's aspects of compromise that have kind of had sort of unintended consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it is pretty unfortunate that the jump attackers are working this way, but like if there is a good way to fix that, this is like a incredibly good pack. Like this is already close to my favorite pack. I think it's currently like it's very close between it and Star Pack. But like I think if they have jump attack be a lot more viable and a lot more like synergistic, then this is like easily my favorite pack.
Hang on a sec while I just write this down.
For the testers.
Well, I mean, there were like that is definitely a complaint from me is that I have like the last week or so I tried to force Philippine Eagle teams where I've got lots of jump attack synergy and it's just a nightmare. And some like it was easier to do originally, but making it easier also had unintended consequences as well. Like White Truffle used to be start of battle as well, so you could basically just have a whole team of jump attacks
and then just
wipe the opposing board.
Start of battle White Truffle. So basically, you would just put a jump attack ability on a pet that could use it better, that has like better stats.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, why would use the jump attack pets at that point?
Well, they all had even stronger abilities. Like some of them, I think Snow Leopard used to be able to triple jump attack. Like,
oh my God.
Like so it would, one of them would like solo 3 pets at start of battle. I'll have to dig up clips of this to show, and I hope I'm not just misremembering it. But yeah, that was definitely a main reason for them getting changed.
And like at least that way, if you have like a one pet being able to jump attack multiple times, you have more synergy with the adjacent friend attacks. You have more synergy with like II and Black Rhino and things like that. But I imagine that in that state, it was too strong.
Yeah, it was like I'm sure Tasmanian Devil could triple jump attack as well, like at level 3. So you're just a lot of the battles just boiled down to, them having 2 or 3 of these pets, and then your whole squad taking massive damage at start of battle, and yeah, it just wasn't fun.
Yeah, but I'm sure there is a way to incorporate that somehow.
I kind of like the idea of the pets that are adjacent. I think it should be like more valuable for the jump attacker to be behind them. You know, like if something like Mink or what are the other adjacent ones? River Dolphin, like triggered twice for a jump for an attack from behind.
Ooh.
You know, something along those lines where there's more value because you only get to really do it once unless you've got Darwin's Fox, and even then that's pretty unreliable.
That would be good, like or even just having an ability that's like friend behind attack, and it's something more, slightly more powerful there. Like,
I mean, they got monkey faced back kind of for anyone behind her, and I guess Tide Thrush for
that's kind of
adjacent friend attacks as well. Which I think
Yeah,
monkey
monkey
faced
faced bat
bat's
is one
actually
of my
pretty
favorites.
decent with those early, as long as they live enough, you know. But I think it's pretty decent early.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's just it's difficult. It's the same idea where it's difficult to build the team to take advantage of it. And a lot of the time I've felt like when I'm playing against all packs, I'm just hoping that they have like mosquitoes and things to deliberately hit me, you know, to make it to easier. The other thing with like the adjacents and the behinds is that it makes it more difficult to take duplicates. I guess adjacent's not so bad, but you know, if you take two of the bats and put them at the front, then you've got fewer spaces for jumpers at the back to trigger them.
Yeah, definitely. I think Bat and Eagle kind of have the same problem where, like, if a jump attacker, like, if you try and max out the Eagle, for example, you have a team of full jump attackers, and then, like, those jump attackers also need stats to be able to survive to get the benefit off of the Eagle to begin with. Like, if you just have jump attackers, they don't, like, maybe if you have double Eagle, it gives stats to each other, but, like, then Bat is way harder to use as well.
Yeah, I feel like I use jump attackers more often, just like one and maybe two in a team that's not about jump attacks. Like just investing stats in a decent ability, but if you try to build a whole team around jump attacks, it's just hard.
Yeah, definitely. Like, my main use case for a Mommy Rabbit has been just to, like, kill a big unit from pack 1 until they, like, buy a melon and they're transformed. Like, it's just very hard to make a full team with, yeah, I agree.
Amami Rabbit was actually a completely different ability as well. That was one that I was a little bit sad to see go. It was tier 6, and it was generate trumpets when a friend jumps.
So,
So it basically allowed you to get, like, it allowed the pack to get a big unit in the doggo that wasn't getting sniped by jump attacks itself. But I didn't really play it that much in the test prior to it getting changed. And it was really like the only trumpet unit. I mean, technically you could get other ones from Red Panda, but I'm not sure I had any games like that.
Yeah, basically this is the same as if you actually had a pet survive and get all the Philippine Eagle buffs.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Maybe that'll come back. I don't know. That would be cool.
That'd be cool, custom exclusive pet, you know?
Yeah, I can't let these abilities go to waste.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good trivia. Write this down.
Yeah, the Jeopardy. Here's all the test server knowledge for all the 6 people that were in it.
It was only 5.
5? Wait. Who was it? You, Rev, Sag, Maris, Laris?
Yeah, and the other one was Wincha.
Oh, Winja, yeah.
So I gave them a list of people, but it was just kept small, which actually made it very manageable. Because a lot of the time when the public tests have been done, there's just like a massive explosion of feedback, and it obviously becomes pretty difficult for a developer to have to wade through all that.
Yeah. And a lot of that feedback was people just reacting to changes who didn't actually play the test server.
Yeah, and they've no idea. They can obviously see on the private test who's actually played, and they can see, you know, me posting video clips and so on, illustrating the various bugs, so they know I'm actually playing it. Whereas a lot of the time in the public test, you get people reacting to the changelog rather than actually playing. So yeah, I guess there's drawbacks and there's positives, but I feel like it's gone reasonably well.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. The smaller test seems to have gone pretty well, but I am also on the side of, like, infected player breeds, get those guys in.
Oh yeah.
Get in people that are really good at finding these bugs, as opposed to
Yeah, Freets
Like-
and Infected break the game every update.
Yeah.
Isn't there a new Infinite? heard
I
there's
mean,
new
there was the
Infinite.
Condor thing, but I don't think there's a new Infinite. Like,
Okay, I could have sworn people talking about it. I don't know. Maybe there's still an existing Infinite.
yeah,
Well,
if anything, it'll be that.
Fingers crossed
Definitely.
the imminent balance patch is going to take care of most infinites that still exist or
Yes,
could
please.
potentially exist.
Yeah.
Fingers
But
crossed.
I think the infinites that exist are like based around your opponent having something, and it's like Venus flytrap. You steal like an oyster or a pteranodon from them or something. I don't think there
Ah.
are any consistent infinites that are existing,
Okay.
but I might be wrong.
But I think it's better to like protect against that happening again in the future because it's so easy to inadvertently add something that then interacts, backwards, like the backwards compatibility and creates a new infinite.
Well, does anyone have any final thoughts, any last things they want to say about the Danger Pack?
Well, I will say that I watched Equi's video on it, and it was one of the best SAP experiences ever to be able to watch a top versus player and see them making loads of misplays. And it suddenly made me feel better about my own very poor versus skills.
I mean, it's two completely different things versus an arena. Like I started getting into it a while ago. I'm still not like that great at arena compared to some people. Versus
No, I
is
mean
like-
watching the versus game.
The one that got
Wait.
like 2K views?
Oh,
that said,
yeah.
this pack loot gets wrecked by pack 1.
But, like,
But it's slightly different when you've had like 2-3 months experience playing something, whereas other people are like playing it for the first time. It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
weird, it's a
definitely.
weird feeling.
like I think people figured out pretty quickly that pack 1 is a counter to this, but they like it's gonna take ages to get all the nuances right. The testers probably figured out.
You have any last thoughts, Equi?
Buff my goat giant otter. That's all.
Oh well, yeah, you did mention Giant Otter before. We might as well briefly mention that got patched. Like it still has the same ability it had, but originally you could transform it into something else, and you would keep the temporary stats,
Whoa.
Oh, really?
which unfortunately made it very easy to win because you just bought like 3 or 4 giant otters and transformed them all. I guess actually you can't take 3, but you could just keep on loading up giant otters with monkey or Savaka at the end, and then everything would just have huge stats that became permanent.
That's at least more of a use case than what it has now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, at the same time, it's like which way do you go? Do you choose to have the OP version gets released or the weaker version? I think in general it's better to go weaker and then improve stuff than it is to go strong initially and nerf stuff because people just don't like nerfs, even
Yeah.
if they're warranted.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I'd much rather right now have this form of giant otter than have better mammoth on tier 4.
Cool.
So-
My last thoughts are I really enjoy the Danger Pack. It took a while for me to get used to it and feel like I knew what was going on. Like I think I've played 50 games now. It took till about 37, 38 till it finally started to click for me. But I really enjoy it. There's a lot of really cool abilities. There's a lot of creativity you can do. There's definitely some things that I want to see change, especially some of the weaker and lesser used pets. But I think there's a few pets in there that are just so freaking awesome, like, Red Panda and all that. I didn't mention Vanilla Bean. That's my favorite thing from the pack. Forgetting the pets, I love the Vanilla Bean so much. Just so much fun for pivoting. But anyway, I think the Danger Pack's really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it next.
Well, the only other
Yeah.
thing I'll say is that Vanilla Bean was a last-minute change as well.
Oh boy, everything was a last minute change. I like how you've talked about the old version of like half the stuff in the pack and how crazy it used to be.
But yeah, I guess that's why you have to test stuff and why it didn't end up like if it had been released as it was, it would have been very similar to Unicorn launch.
So,
Where-
so what was the old Vanilla Bean?
The old Vanilla Bean was pretty boring. It was on Faint Summon an Ant.
Oh,
So it was basically just there to farm more attacks, and it basically got changed to be that Codro was the summon perk instead.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I mean, I think Vanilla Bean's pretty strong, but at the same time, it is much more fun than the previous version.
And like
Yeah.
you were starting to say before I cut you off, I agree that I'm glad it's not like launching a corn pack.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of the many hours of testing that the group of us put in.
Cool. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Grounded.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Grounded,
lads.
for making the danger pack. It's all because of
Oh,
you.
well. I think I would have to say that there's very, very few things in the pack that I would have put in. You know, if it was up to me, a lot of these ideas I wouldn't have done. And it's also that's the cool thing about the developers, is that even if they're not playing the game very much, they've still got loads of ideas on how to make completely new things, which was probably the most fun part of the test.
Oh yeah, they know how to make a good pack.
Yeah. Cool. Does anyone want to shout anything out before we go?
I don't know. Maybe like shout out for RevGT making a Cocoa Bean video by the end of the year.
Yes.
His
Yep.
Cocoa Bean seagull build.
Be funny
Yeah,
if it
I
came out
was also
before this
just gonna
came
shout
out.
out RepGT.
Shouts to
I've got a feeling he.
RepGT. Shout out to
Yeah.
Mirko and Nick Resny for joining us for a bit. Shouts to the team tour. It's just about to start. Go check it out.
Equi, are
And,
you playing Danger Pack exclusively
I'm
in Team
playing
Tour?
all Danger Pack. Yep.
Yo, so tune into Equi on YouTube and Twitch. Check out the Danger Pack gameplay.
Yeah,
Good
also
luck.
tune into just a bunch of other cool versus people. Kelby, MG, Coddy both stream on Twitch, both make YouTube videos. You've got a lot of people. Nick is also in the team tour, who was on earlier. Flame96 is also in it. Like a lot of cool people.
All I know about Team Tour is Kelby complaining that he's on the feet team.
He is. Two separate people sent feed pics in that Discord, I think.
Yikes.
So if you're a fan of feet, go follow Kelby MG. No.
Yeah, that's the takeaway.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate y'all taking time out of your day to talk about the Danger Pack. And yeah, thank you all of you who are watching. Thank you so much. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, both to me and to these fine people here. I'll catch you all in the next one. But until then, as always, stay
Stay
true.
true.